Okay, today we're gonna take this chassis out, and we're gonna bring in the Dodge M37. So I've got the tires pumped up, and hopefully I'll be able to push her out. So this is my 1952 Dodge M37. Runs all right. It's got the winch on it. It's got disconnecting hubs. When I bought it, the brakes didn't work at all. Not, as to be expected with a 70-year-old vehicle. Looks good on the inside. So we got a 4-speed manual transmission. We have a twin stick, transfer case, emergency brake that's kind of sus, and it has 67,000 original miles on it. The body's okay, the frame's alright. My big problem is it only goes about 60 kilometers an hour, and with these old vehicles there's no seat belts, no power steering. That's why the steering wheel's absolutely giant, and no power brakes. Well, the brakes seem to work now, got them okay, but can't take it anywhere. It's got a slow moving vehicle sign on the back of it, and I like to have a truck that does more truck stuff instead of around the yard stuff. So starting it up, make sure she's in neutral. Turn the fuel pump on. You can hear it running there. Pull the choke a little bit, and contact. Coming up. It's my fast idle switch for fording across water. Let her warm up a little bit. Starting to warm up. You can see the exhaust just chooching by. It gets about 40 liters per 100 kilometer, and with gas prices being up over the $1.30 a liter, she's kind of expensive just to take around. I'm pretty sure this is like in dollars per minute in order to drive this thing, so it's not really economical for the normal person. Some quirky features that it has is it has these wiper blades. There's no power up here whatsoever. What you do is they're vacuum operated, and you can just pull that vacuum from the engine, but if you speed her up, they'll slow down. Oh, I got her on the cruise right now. So you can see when I hit the gas, they slow down. So it kind of needs about 100% engine power to go down the road. And that if it's raining out, you either get somewhat engine power or somewhat wipers. There's no in between there. And there's no defrost, so I got this sassy bus fan here that blows on the window, and the heat for the vehicle is supplied by this like heater core with a fan on it. It makes pretty good heat though. I think as an eventual goal, I'd like to put air conditioning in it. We'll see how far we get, but we'll get her in the shop and see how we make out. It mostly runs good. So the older gentleman I bought this truck from kept referring to it as a Jeep, but I already have a Jeep out here that looks more like a Jeep, as you can see. So referring to this as a Jeep doesn't really make any sense, and I can't call it a Dodge because, well, that's a Dodge, and then I have two more in the driveway too, so it gets confusing when I'm talking to people what I'm talking about. So this is called an M37, and I'll refer to that as the Ram, and the yellow one will be a Jeep, and my wife has affectionately called this thing Chub because it's pretty wide and it's pretty tall. It's about 6'8" tall, although it doesn't look like it. The vehicle's got these 16, I think they're 16 by 9 or 9 by 16 tires. I think they're 9 inches wide, and they're on 16 rims. That's not a normal rim. It looks like a split rim, but it's not. It's just a split ring. But either way, I'm not really interested on having a wheel that looks like that. Just mainly for safety. I'd like to modernize it a lot more. Plus these tires are, well, they're holding air, but they look pretty worse for wear. I tried to look for some replacements for these. Turns out it's just not worth the effort. I could put some modern tires on it and probably be farther ahead and save a little bit of money. They might not look it, but they're 34 inches tall, and that makes it probably the largest tires that I have. Way larger than the Ram. I think I measured those at 31 inches. They have 1.5 inch lug nuts that hold them on. You can tell that these are left-hand thread and the other side is right-hand thread, so they don't just always come off the same way. It has floating axles, and I think 588 or 88 or 583 gears in it. I think that's a big cause of why it doesn't go very fast. Kind of just have her right in a catch-up going down the road. It's powered by a straight six 251 flathead. This is the Canadian version, so they came a little bit bigger than the American version. As a result, I think they only made about 20 more horsepower, and it pretty much needs every one of those horses to go down the road. It is chronically underpowered. This winch is a Braden winch. It's a LU4, I believe. It's a 7,500 pound winch. I think the bumper's been modified to fit it. I think the originals that came with the winch, they had a split bumper. This one's been cut, and then has this big piece of it's been reinforced with solid steel around the whole input. Interesting part about this vehicle, or this winch, is it's powered with a PTO. Comes right off transmission. Just goes way back there. You can kind of see it. And you power it from inside with this lever here. So you flip it up, and then you push the clutch in, and then you bring her back, and that'll be power back, power forward, and then you let her out, and then you just bump the gas for how fast you want to go. It's kind of a pain because you need two people to run it safely, because, well, you're in the vehicle and all that fun stuff. Plus you're kind of just looking at it, the winch, and you don't really want to be on the line of sight of a winch cable. So I don't know if I'm going to keep that winch or not. I'd like to be able to put a hydraulic motor on it, like a motor on the front there. Maybe. We'll see how she goes. I should mention that after you're done with the winch, you should put that back down for safety. Sometimes your leg will catch that and start running the winch while you're going down the road, and you'll be like, oh geez, I'm down on power, even more power than I'm not used to having. And then you come to find out that the winch is spooling when you're driving down the road, and she makes quick work of just ruining the cable, because it goes off with a bang. So this is the back of the truck. It has an aluminum plate floor. The older guy that I bought it from used to haul firewood in it, so he's reinforced the bottom with some aluminum plate, and the spare is probably the best tire in the whole vehicle. It's got a little glass in the back, and the bed sides aren't the best, but I think I have some spare bed sides that I can work with. So I should mention that I've never torn apart an army truck before, but I'm guessing it's going to be ridiculously heavy, and let's roll a time lapse. Alright, so we got the fenders off. Got the fenders, the lights, front grille, and this fender as well. And can't forget the hood. Things are looking a little riper than it looked, or than it appeared from the outside of it, but that's the way these old things go, I guess. I think my next thing is going to be to tackle this roof. I think it's held on with a couple of screws, front and back, and I might be able to pop this top off, make it like a convertible. I'll give a look at her. I took all the bolts out of the back, but I couldn't get it to budge at all. So I went ahead and took off the doors, and they're just chilling there. But I think that's pretty good progress for one day. I'd like to get into the dash at some point after I figure out how to get this off. I'm guessing the silicone to the nth degree, which is probably just glued on there, but we'll leave it for there.